The program is still here this morning on ITV, and we've got Dr. Logat Sado, who is a lecturer with the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, University of Benin. He's a public affairs analyst, and he talks also on political issues too. Dr. Logat, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much. Good
All right,
morning.
so we're going to be looking at Nigerian politics and political rifts among governors. The first time we actually saw that in this dispensation was during the time that we had a little rift between the Benue State governor and, of course, the Plateau State governor now, making reactions and all that. But the most recent of it all is the one between the Edo State governor and, of course, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. Now, how would you want to describe what you think is playing out? Some say it's all connected to 2023 presidential election, while some say that it is perhaps a fight of the titans, that maybe political strength, might just be tested with this present race going on. How would you want to describe the situation?
Once again, thank you, Mr. Evans, for having me, and good morning, Edo people. What's happening between the Rivers State governor, Governor Wike, and the Edo State governor, Governor Baseki? It's most unexpected, in my opinion. And I'd like to say that it's like a case of two masquerades dancing naked in the market square. Now, when masquerades dance naked, what it shows is that they have, they have decided to expose their identity and make themselves known to the people, whereas masquerades are supposed to be, shielded from the people. The two governors are very great persons with great personalities and, of course, great prospects. And somehow they've been friends. We know the antecedents and the history between Governor Baseki and Governor Wike. But what has played out in the last couple of days or weeks now is most unexpected. And I think that it is not just a show of power. I think that is a misplaced show of power. So what I will advise, basically, is that both governors need to sit back and sit on the same desk and talk about their issues instead of washing their dirty linen outside and making themselves look funny.
They've not said that they are washing any dirty linen.
They don't have to tell us that they are washing dirty linens, but by the words that they are using, I think that they are insulting themselves. They are arrogating powers to themselves.
Come to that insulting themselves.
If someone asks the deputy governor, "Who is your father?" In Africa, when two people are arguing and you extend the argument to one's parents, that is seen as an insult.
Maybe the guy was just trying to ask, "Who is your political father?" So.
That may be, but you see the reaction of Edo State governor to the remarks Governor Wike made in that publication, which he personally signed by himself, goes to show to you that the governor didn't take that lightly. And he felt that, look, if you had anything wrong with my deputy, courtesy demands that you should even come to me, talk to me about it, and then we will see how we can resolve the issue. Now, you made 2 points. Some people argue that it's a show of power. Others argue that it's towards 2019. I think that they are connected. In the PDP till date, some governors think, not just in the PDP, I think in all the political parties, the two dominant parties in Nigeria, the governors want to control the parties. And so what's playing out in PDP today, it's a show of dominance to see who has the political will, who controls the party, and who will determine the direction of the party come 2023 election. And from the write-ups from the Edo State governor and things like that Edo State cannot be procured, it would suggest that perhaps Wike wanted to, buy Edo State, and then add Edo State to part of the states that he controls. But the state governor is saying that, look, that is not possible. And so I think that this should not have even come up at all, knowing fully well the role Governor Wike played in the emergence of Governor Baseki as governor of Edo State. I think that two of them should have acted differently.
Yeah, but some persons feel differently about it. Governor Wike did not single-handedly voted in Governor Obaseki. So I think we also need to get that straight, even as we try to look at the issues.
No, Governor Wike did not vote. In fact, he had no single vote in Edo State.
He didn't vote.
He didn't vote, and he had no capacity to vote. But Governor Wike had great influence. We were all here in Edo State, in the Situation Room, in the press conference that Governor Wike granted and all the likes. And I think that even Governor Obaseki will acknowledge that Governor Wike was pivotal in his emergence as governor of Edo State. However, like someone alluded, that you helped someone to get a wife does not suggest that you will sleep with the person's wife or help the person sleep with his wife. Okay. So Governor Wike may have helped Governor Obaseki, and everybody gets helped. There's nobody who doesn't receive assistance. No one can do anything by himself. We all need one support or the other. So if Governor Wike supported Governor Obaseki, he should not, because of that, rub it on his face. And I think that that is one thing that Governor Wike has done in his remarks, and of course, the backlash that he made after when he called the governor a serial betrayer and things like that. These are some of the issues that I am saying that is unexpected, is unwarranted, and I think that they still have time on their side. And I know that because of the two of them, the next meeting of PDP was even postponed, you know, because the PDP knows that any weak link in their link will amount to losing the 2023 presidential election. And so the two governors are very pivotal. Governor Wike may be very old in PDP, but Governor Obaseki is very strategic in PDP. They both need themselves for the success of PDP. And I think that they should go to the drawing board. They should take their case out of the media and discuss as brothers that they are and see how they can move themselves forward and move the PDP
All right, so
forward.
Talking about taking the case out of the media now, that's one major concern. You know, some persons say it appears we don't have decorum in politics. We've never had decorum in Nigerian politics. That's the way some persons say. Because for a governor to come on in the media and talk like that, now what is this thing in politics that we really don't see some level of decorum in our political space in this country?
It's because the politics in Nigeria has destroyed the party structure. The party supremacy no longer exists. If the party supremacy existed, the party would have called the erring governor to order or called both governors to order and even sanctioned them. But you see, what we have now are strong individuals. And I'm saying this not because I'm taking side with Governor Obaseki, but he did say in his letter to Governor Wike that what the PDP needs now, what Nigeria needs now, are strong institutions and not strong individuals. And I think that is the problem. In Nigerian politics, I mean, you see what you can tell the political coup that almost took place in APC, where Bumi was ousted, and of course only yesterday we heard now that he is back again. Yeah. It shows to you that the party structure in Nigerian politics need to be worked on, and it has to be constitutional. A situation where the governors determine who becomes the party head, who holds office and who does not hold office, is unacceptable. And if that continues, we will continue to have, you know, I don't want to use the term rascals, but we'll begin to have people without decorum. In fact, people will take advantage of the situation and become lawless because in any case, they cut the shot and they determine what will happen. So I am suggesting that what we should have currently in Nigeria is to build our political party system. And I think that maybe the Electoral Act that has just been passed into law may have addressed that issue. I've really not read the entire act, but I hope that it addressed some of those issues such that individuals will become loyal to their parties. And, you know, as an aside, the judgment against the boy governor that if you decamped from a party and that you will lose your position, that you know, while quoting the Supreme Court judgment, that votes are not given to individuals but to parties. Yeah. If that judgment holds, I'm not preempting the court in the Supreme Court, it will solve a lot of problem in Nigeria, because you will now know that if your party tells you sit down and you don't sit down, they have a right to boot you out and replace you with someone else. You become loyal to that party. Until we do that, we'll continue to have this kind of, you know, up and down movements in our political space and structure. Okay.
Now, you said there is need for us to really revamp or strengthen our political space. Now, there is an issue, a situation whereby we hear that governors, once they are voted into power through a political party anyway, automatically they now become the leaders of those parties. Now, if we have this situation on the ground, how can we really, you know, build our political space? How can we build our politics? Because whether you like it or not, some of these governors may just be tempted, to overuse some of the powers they have within their hands. So
it's unfortunate, and that's exactly what I'm saying. It is wrong for a governor to be declared the leader of a political party. It is wrong. Ab initio, from the very beginning, it is wrong. However, it appears that abnormal things tend to thrive in Nigeria. It started in the APC, and then it has now become a norm in the PDP, where you now say a particular, let's take Edo State as an example. When the governor crossed over from APC to PDP and became governor, automatically he became the leader of a state that he is barely a month into, or barely a day into. It's abnormal.
He became the leader of the political...
Yes, of the PDP.
Of the PDP.
Yes, and I'm saying that it is not normal. It is an aberration to political system and structure. It's not peculiar to Edo State. I just used that as an example. It's not because the governor is power crazy. It's because of the political structure that we have currently in Nigeria. And I think that that needs to be addressed. Such that when in the First Republic, political parties were in control. In the First Republic, if a candidate or a governor misbehaved, you reported that governor to the political party, and the party could discipline an erring governor.
Yeah, but
in Nigeria today, the governor disciplines the party. And when the governor gets angry, he decamps and leaves the party empty-handed and goes and decamps with all his entourage, members of the State House of Assembly, his executive, and all the others, and leaves the party that brought him into office barren and empty-handed. I think that...
And it goes to another party.
And it goes to another party and becomes the leader of that party again. Okay. And if he's a destructive governor, he destroys that party again, and then when he's almost through with destroying it, he moves to another party again. How long will this abnormality continue? I think that that is one of the challenges why this country is not moving forward. All right, people do whatever they like and they go scot-free with it.
Okay, now, Dr. Sado, let's try more on this, being a political leader because you are the governor. I think the governors somehow is really not their fault, because whether you like it or not, the governors are not there on their own strength. They are there on the strength of a political party, and once they are there now, they begin to do the bid of the party. They begin to actualize the manifestos, the intentions of the party, and as such, they lead the party as such. So we cannot really fault that against the governor, as it were.
No. I have not faulted the governor. I am faulting the political structure in Nigeria. Look at Governor Ben Ayade, for example, who also moved. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is, suddenly, he was a performing governor while he was PDP, and he was respected. And the moment he cross-carpeted to another party, PDP is now the citadel of XYZ. And the new political party is now the El Dorado.
And he's now the leader.
And he's now the leader in that political party. No, I am saying that the governors are not the problem. The political structure. And that's why I talk about the Electoral Act. If that act has not taken into consideration the issues we are discussing now, then of course that should be the issue Mr. President should be concerned about amending. Not amending whether a political appointee should resign 3 months before the elections or not. So those are the issues I am saying that we need to address, such that party supremacy becomes the order of the day. You talk about enforcing and enhancing party manifesto. Which political party has a manifesto in Nigeria? Is it the APC or the PDP? I can't find any. There's no manifesto across all the political parties in Nigeria. They may have it on paper, but it's not workable. And so what you find are individuals enforcing their development plan and agenda. So in Rivers, for instance, Wike is busy creating flyovers, building structures, and after he was through with that, I think 2 weeks ago, Wike said that he has fulfilled all his promises to his people. It's now time to empower the individuals. Edo State, the governor is busy tying roads, constructing villages, and recreating Edo State. That is his idea. It's not driven by his political party. Wike is not driven by his political party. That is why you will find that in a particular state, people may be doing well, and in another state, they are performing abysmally. And in a particular state, APC may be doing well, and in another state, they are performing abysmally. The difference there is that the party is not the one driving development. It is the individuals that are either driving development or driving on that development. I'm not saying that enough of this aberration. It is time for political parties to take their place in the political space in Nigeria. And that will suggest that a political party that cannot own its own
will soon be phased out and new political structures will emerge. And that's why we'll be talking about a third force. We can't have a third force with the present political structure in Nigeria because people are not swayed into political parties. They are swayed alongside individuals. And so if some particular heavy individuals, like it did in 2014, 2015, when Asiwaju, Buhari, and several others decided to say, look, let's collapse CPC, let's collapse AC and AD, let's collapse ANPP and come together to form a new force. And that's how the APC emerged and created the structure that took power from PDP.
Yeah, Doctor, when you talk about the third force, do you think the third force can really, solve some of these issues we are talking about now? Because who brings this third force on board? The same politicians.
That's exactly what I just said, that the reason we can't have a third force in Nigeria is that the party structure in Nigeria is faulty. It's faulty. What Kwankwaso and others are doing in Kano and all the others in Abuja to create a third force actually is a conglomeration and assemblage of strong individuals, in their opinion, who have influences in their various geographical locations and have the financial capacity. And once you pull these individuals together, you can be certain that a third force will emerge. It still will not solve any problem because it will be a bed of, if you like, let me not use that word, it will be a funny space because you have people with different orientations and different ideas, all driven by only one goal, the goal to have power, but not knowing what to do with the power. That appears to be what we have faced with the APC government since they came to power, because they were very concerned about getting power, but did not plan on how to use the power. And so, since they emerged in 2015, at the national level, we have not seen any development. Rather, inflation, insecurity, and all the others have become the problem. I'm assessing it as a political analyst that they were so concerned about power but did not plan on what to do with power. And that is why we must be wary of the idea of a third force. While we need a third force to deliver us, we must go with a third force that has an agenda, that has a focus, and emphasizes party supremacy over the individuals. Until we have that kind of structure, we will be having, if you like, pockets of individuals emerging in our political spaces, making use of their political powers to do whatever they like, and once we get angry with them, they decamp again and go to another party.
You just talked about, politicians coming on board and emphasizing party supremacy. It perhaps brings us back to where we kicked off from, talking about governors, having rifts among themselves, because the whole issue boils down to the fact that one says that, hey, I'm more into this party than you are. Just like what Wike said, that he has invested so much. He even said that right from about 15, 20 years ago, he has been voting in the PDP. A statement that suggests that he's more of PDP than Governor Obaseki of Edo State. Now, where does it get us to when we continue like this? Because as we are moving towards the 2023 presidential election now, more issues will come. Perhaps some more governors will even lambast at other governors that, if not for me, you probably would not have returned there as the governor. Failing to realize that these same persons that they talk about did not own one vote, in that election. Just like in the case of Edo State.
Yeah.
Wike did not vote in the election. He was just around. The electorate voted for Godwin Obaseki in the election. And at the end of the day, Godwin Obaseki won the election. I want to speak along that line.
Let me take it from that point. Governor Obaseki won the election not because he was in the PDP. I am one of those who argued that once the APC denied him ticket, all Governor Obaseki needed to do was to look for any political party in Edo State and join. Because the wave of the Edo people at that point in time was to follow Obaseki because of the dissatisfaction they had with godfatherism. And and Wike should have known that Obaseki has disdain for godfatherism. And so any attempt to impose yourself as another godfather, you are going to get the kind of resistance that Obaseki is giving to him. Having said that, the politics of godfatherism should not and must never be encouraged in Nigeria. It has brought us to where we are now, on our knees and on the state of underdevelopment.
Or don't you also think that the governor that wants to drive it down on members of the political party that, hey, I'm the leader here, let me lead? Don't you think that such a governor is also towing the line of godfatherism?
In a way, it may suggest that if a governor is asserting himself and saying, look, I am the leader by virtue of my position here, He's trying to make the people understand the direction he's going to. Like I said, at this particular point in time, I have not faulted the governors. I have faulted the political structure. It is the political structure that made him the leader. That means that the chairman, the PDP chairman, is subservient to the governor. That means that the PDP chairman will be taking instructions from the governor, and not the other way around.
State level.
At the state level,
yeah.
That is an aberration. However, that is the status quo. And what I think that the governor should do is to open his arms and allow everyone into his fold until the structure changes. At the moment, I don't think that the governor has a problem even with the chairman. I think that the problem is the national vice chairman. The problem the governor has is with the national vice chairman of the PDP.
That's South-South.
That's, yes, South-South.
Yeah.
Now, the point here is that governor said that since he came in, was it governor or Shuaibu who said that they've registered additional 500,000 members or more into the PDP. That means they came with a lot of people into the PDP, but that they are not being accepted. Whereas the PDP people feel that governor has come and has hijacked the process. So back to what I said concerning Governor Wike and Governor Obaseki, there is need for the two factions, the old PDP and the new PDP from APC, to sit down and talk over these issues. There's nothing that cannot be discussed on the table. And once they're able to discuss these issues, I think that there will be a headway. Having said that, what Governor Wike said concerning Edo State, knowing fully well that he did not cast any votes, is important and is imperative. It's important because Governor Wike feels that he contributed a lot, maybe money, maybe influence, maybe structure. And so the governor should listen to him. But Governor Wike also has forgotten that he is governor of Rivers and not governor of Edo State. And that if there's anything he wants to tell the governor, it should be more like an advice, a suggestion, not a command or an instruction.
Now, so there are insinuations, because of time now, there are insinuations, we do not know how correct those insinuations are. There are insinuations that Governor Godwin Obaseki and the deputy governor may leave the PDP and opt for maybe APGA. Those are some of the things we hear, you know, in bush radio, so to say.
Yes.
Now, for some persons, this may not augur well for the politics of Edo State.
Definitely. You know, when Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu was interviewed on Channels, one of your sister stations, he did say that they are pushing them, and they may leave the PDP. And it was that comment, or one of those, that was one of the comments that Governor Wike reacted to. That how could he, after all that the PDP did for him, they came begging, they gave them umbrella and things like that. Those were not necessary. If you did good for someone, you don't have to rub it on the person's face. But as to the issue whether Governor Obaseki and his deputy may switch camp and go to another political party, I think that it should not even be contemplated.
Okay.
It shouldn't be contemplated because it will put the state in disarray. I think that what they need to do is that at the moment, based on the structure, he is the leader of the party. He should put his leadership skills into action and resolve the problem that the PDP Edo State branch is having and solve it for the betterment of Edo people. I think that's the point, and we must lay it at that.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Logat Sado, for finding time to come on the program today. Now, Dr. Logat Sado is a lecturer with the Department of Sociology and Anthropology at the University of Benin here in Edo State. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
The program is still on here this morning on ITV. Please stay tuned.